Hi folks, if you're still rocking a Galaxy Z Fold4, then OneUI 5.1 update is waiting for you. And I'm pretty sure by this time many of you would have installed it and wondering what's new with the update. Well, there's a lot of small things, but here are a few notable things that I think you will like using the OneUI 5.1 in your Galaxy Z Fold4. To start with, Samsung has made it easier to update the wallpaper and other settings in the lock screen customization. So what I mean here is Samsung has made some subtle changes in this lock screen customization screen. So one thing, if you notice, you can actually see there are borders around the various UI elements that you can change. And now you have a dedicated wallpapers button that you can tap right there and then change your wallpaper. Now, if you change your wallpaper to an image, let's select an image from here, and now you get a new option called filter, where you can select a color filter for your wallpaper if that matches with your theme. So nice little improvement here to the lock screen customization, but that's what you get with the OneUI 5.1 update. The next update are the home screen widgets. There are two new home screen widgets. One is the new battery status widget that shows your battery level for your phone and other Galaxy devices and Bluetooth devices. So right now you're seeing here the battery status for my Galaxy Z Fold device. I have my Samsung Galaxy Watch, and now if I actually bring my Samsung Buds Pro and then open it up, you should see the battery widget showing the battery level for my Galaxy Buds Pro. There it is. So you can see now I got those two here in the battery status widget. And you can customize the widget settings. So if you tap and hold the widget and go into the settings, you can see that you can configure the devices you want to show. So if you don't have Galaxy Buds, or if you don't have S Pen, and if you don't want other devices to show up, you can just turn them off here. And then you can also reorder them to suit your needs and how they would show up in the home screen. The next widget is the weather widget. So now you have a dynamic weather widget that has some animation. So you can see right here, it did some animations. If you miss that, I'm going to refresh it manually. So now you will see that the animations in the weather widget match the weather. So if it's sunny, you have a sunny animation going on. When it's snow, you can see the person actually wearing jacket and whatnot. So that's kind of the animation that you get with the weather app now. So if you open the weather app, you can actually see that you get a similar animation here. So that is now available in your widget in the home screen. And that's called the dynamic weather widget. So to add that, if you tap and hold your home screen, tap on widgets, and then if you scroll to the weather widget, you will see you have the dynamic weather widget that you can add to your home screen. And similarly, if you scroll and look at the battery, you'll have the battery status widget. So these two widgets are new in OneUI 5.1. The next update is in the modes and routines. So modes was introduced in OneUI 5 that allows you to automate certain things and configure the phone settings based on that automation. So for example, if you want to use your Galaxy Z Fold for reading with your Kindle app, then you can use a mode called reading, and then you can turn it on when you open the Kindle app and set some phone settings like the do not disturb mode. You can restrict the app usage from which apps you want to receive notifications during that mode. You can also change some settings here like the grayscale dark mode. For example, if you see, one of the settings I do like to be turned on when I'm reading books in my Kindle app is the eye comfort shield. The option now you get in OneUI 5.1 is the ability to have wallpapers when you turn on a mode. So here you can see that when I turn on the reading mode, I have a different wallpaper set up here. So I can tap on the lock screen wallpaper, select a wallpaper, and then similarly I can also select a wallpaper for my home screen. So let's see this in action. So here's my home screen wallpaper, which is very different from the wallpaper that I wanted to set up when I turn on this reading mode. So I'm going to turn on, and you can see now the phone applies all of the settings. It enables all of the settings here that I have configured. And if I go to my home screen, you can see now I have the wallpaper that I had selected. Of course, the screen itself is changed to the grayscale mode, so that's why you don't see the color here. And I can go back here again, and then I can turn off the reading mode, which would revert all of these changes and take you back to how your phone was before you turned on the reading mode. There it is. So now my previous wallpaper and all of the previous settings have been restored. So modes is a great way to automate things in your phone, and use your phone wisely, especially when you want to not be disturbed by all of the app notifications and whatnot. So if you haven't started using modes, I would highly recommend you go through and see them, how it can help you with getting the most out of your phone. Next update is with the camera app. Camera app doesn't have new features, but has some new integration options with some camera settings and the camera mode that you can use. One of them is Expert RAW. Expert RAW is an advanced camera app, just like the Pro mode in your camera app, that gives you much better options than the Pro mode to capture your beautiful moments. And if you haven't used the app and wondering how to use it and why you might need the Expert RAW app, I will link my video below where I go in depth explaining what the app is and how to use the app to get the best photo that you can from your Samsung device. Now, once you have installed it, you can always open it from your app library, but then that means you have to remember that you have the app installed, and most of the time the app that you're going to open would be the camera app. So what Samsung has done with OneUI 5.1 is that now if you swipe through the different modes and then go into the more options, you will see the Expert RAW app available there as one of the modes. But it is a shortcut. So once you tap on that, it will open the Expert RAW app. Then you'd have to swipe back to go back to your camera app again. And one thing you can't do, and why this is merely a shortcut, is you can't add this Expert RAW as one of the modes down below here for easy access. So it's merely a shortcut, but now you have that integration in the camera app in OneUI 5.1. So the another integration is the camera assistant app. So the camera assistant gives you additional settings that you can tweak for your camera app to manage how the camera app takes photos and other settings around those capabilities. So again, once you install it, you can open it from the good log and from the app library. But with OneUI 5.1, the camera assistant settings are now integrated into the camera settings. So if you're in your camera app, then you tap on the settings button on the top, and then if you scroll down, you will find the camera assistant option here, where now you can directly change these just from the camera settings, right? So you don't have to open that, or you don't even have to remember that you have installed it. It's right there integrated in the camera app settings. Now, there are a few settings here that I would like you to go and have a look, but one thing that I find very useful, and I have turned it on the moment I installed this camera assistant app, is the timer multi-photo option. So what this enables is when you set up a timer shot, it will now take, instead of one, it will take 5 pictures, and you can set the interval between those 5 pictures, whether that to be 1 second, 2 seconds, or maximum of 3 seconds. So if you're capturing something that is moving, then this is very useful. Even if you have people that just keep blinking their eyes or turn their faces in a group photo, this option is very useful, right? I'm gonna go into my camera app, and I'm gonna select the timer option for 2 seconds. And now if I tap, it will start taking 5 pictures. So there is the timer 1, and then here is the second one 2, and I can turn, and here is the third one. Then I can turn here 4, and then I can do this 5. So I got 5 photos within those intervals I set up in the camera assistant, right? So really useful feature. If you haven't used it, try using it and let me know in the comments what you think about the camera assistant and the expert raw integration in the camera app. And now is a good segue to move on to the Gallery app updates. Gallery app has two useful features in OneUI 5.1. The first one is the ability to view photo information with just a swipe up gesture. Previously you had to tap on some buttons, but now it's much easier. You're viewing a photo, you want to quickly see where the photo was taken, you can just swipe up and then you can get that information. The next new feature is you can remaster GIF. Remaster is a feature in Samsung Gallery app that allows you to remaster pictures before OneUI 5.1 that uses AI and machine learning to improve the picture. So now here is a GIF that I downloaded from internet. You can see that it's not that super quality and it's a little bit blurry over here at the corners. And now if I tap on more options, I can tap on remaster GIF, and that's going to upscale this GIF and give you a better version. And you can see that difference in a few seconds here, where here is the before and then here is the after. And you can see that the Samsung remaster feature has indeed made this GIF much better with the remaster option. So that's the new feature in OneUI 5.1 with the Gallery app. Multitasking updates, that's the next one. If you're using a Z Fold, you're going to certainly multitask, right? So you're going to tap on the app bar and then you're going to start doing split screens where you can now use two different apps. Now, one of the things you will notice in OneUI 5.1 is the addition of the recent apps category and most used apps category in that app selection pane that comes up when you start a split screen view. This is much easier now, so I don't have to scroll through all of the apps alphabetically. The ones that I recently used, maybe those are the ones that I need to open here in the split screen view, right? So I got them right there. And most used apps, that's great. Those are the apps that I most use in split screen view. So those will come up here as you use those apps in the split screen view. And that's also very good because my probability of choosing an app in these two sections are much higher. So thank you, Samsung, for making this a little easier. That is going to save a few seconds of the time when we decide what app I need here in the split screen view. Another multitasking update is with the pop-up view. So pop-up view enables you to just drag the app frame window inward to switch to a window that you can move around, right? So it's no longer an app with full screen, it's just an app with a window frame that you can move around. Now, if you wanted to switch back to the full screen mode, you would have to tap on the app bar and then tap on this full screen option to switch to full screen mode. Well, with OneUI 5.1, you don't have to do that. It's much easier and intuitive because the way you switch to pop-up view is you dragged the app frame from one of the corners inwards to switch to pop-up view. Now you can do the same. Drag the app frame window outwards to switch to full screen view. And not only that, you can increase the height and width as well through this app window frame gesture. So that's a very neat little update to the pop-up view. If you're using it, then I think you will love it. The last two updates is with Bixby. If you're using Bixby, I think you're gonna love this. So now if you go into Bixby settings in OneUI 5.1, you will have the option to choose just Bixby as the wake up phrase. That means you don't have to say, "Hi, Bixby." So instead, you can just say Bixby and that will launch Bixby Assistant. And one thing that I really like is the option to also enable speak seamlessly. So this option will allow you to say the command immediately after the wake up phrase. So you can continue speaking to Bixby without having any gap. Let's see how this works. I'm going to change the wake up phrase to just Bixby and see how Bixby is responding seamlessly with my queries. Bixby, are you clever?
I haven't taken an IQ test, but I'm comfortable in my intelligence.
Bixby, how far is Moon from Earth?
238,900 miles.
Bixby, will it rain in April?
I can only get weather information up to 10
So that's the Bixby update for the wake up phrase and the option to speak seamlessly. The next Bixby feature, I think you will really love it. And that's called Bixby Text Call, available under phone settings. So if you go into your phone app, tap on more settings, and then tap on settings, you'll have the option Bixby Text Call. This answers calls without you needing to answer and speak to the other end. Instead, this will speak on behalf of you and get the initial things that you want to know, especially if it's a spam call. Why waste time answering and exposing yourself to that phone caller? Instead, you can have Bixby attend the call and get things done. And this is only available right now in United States and Korea, so probably South Korea, because the two languages that are available here is the Korean language and the English United States. And then you can select a voice for the digital assistant to talk back. Let's see how this works. I'm going to call from my iPhone here and let's see what happens. So you can see I get the option Bixby Text Call. So when I tap on that, it'll ask me to swipe to answer.
Hi, I'm using Bixby Text Call to convert your voice into text and respond to you. If you want to continue, say who you are and why you're calling.
I am your friend calling.
Is this urgent?
I don't know. Do you think it's urgent?
Just to clarify, who are you?
I will not say who I am.
I can't talk right now. I'll call you back later.
Isn't that cool? That's the Bixby Text Call feature. And if you go into your recent phone calls and then browse through the recent phone call history for the particular number, you will see an icon available right here like this that will allow you to view the Bixby Text Call messages that you interacted with during the phone call. This is also very neat. So now I can actually have a reference to what was that. I was talking with the other person. Something funny I saw here, like I repeated, I will not say who I am. It just literally took poo, P-O-O, I am. So, sometimes these digital assistants are very funny in how they interpret different accents and languages. So those are the OneUI 5.1 updates for your Galaxy Z Fold 4. Now, of course, if you go check the software update, you should also have received the March update, because right now the March update is rolling out. So Samsung has been very efficient in rolling out these updates and keeping your devices up to date, especially with the security updates. So let me know in the comments, how is OneUI 5.1 in your Galaxy Z Fold 4 device? Are you still liking the device? I know Z Fold 5 is right around the corner, so I am hoping that Samsung has few surprises for us with the Z Fold 5. So let's wait and see. Until next time, bye.